Hey gang, Showway Platt. Today we tried craft beer from Big Beer. That's next to Platt's Beer of the Week. So the particular beer we have today is Mango and Stash. Comes to us from the fine folks at Hop Valley Brewing. Mango and Stash is a play on the title Tango and Cash. It was an old Sylvester Stallone, Kurt Russell cop movie. I'm thinking late 80s, if I remember right. Not the best movie, so no need to go check it out. A little more about Hop Valley, though. Hop Valley was founded in 2009 in Eugene, Oregon. They have two brew pubs now, one in Eugene and one in Springfield. Besides their line of beers, they also produce Henry Weinhard. Henry Weinhard is a famous brewer slash brand that's been around for a long time. In 1856, Henry Weinhard, who was a German immigrant and brewer, opened the first brewery on the West Coast in Portland, Oregon. The brand's been around for a long time. I know about 30 years ago when I first got into beer and craft beer and stuff, it was one of the earlier brands I got. There was a local beer bar that did the 100 Beer Club thing, and that was one of the beers you had to drink. And apparently Hop Valley now has the brand and is producing that brand, which is kind of cool to keep the name alive. Besides that, though, there's not much other information on Hop Valley. If you go to their website, it's pretty sparse. Just talks about their beers and some of the other things. Very kind of kitschy, hip, fun little website, but not a lot on story. And that's because in 2016, the brewery was sold to Molson Coors, so it's big beer, basically. More specifically, though, it's part of their 10th and Blake company. Molson Coors has kind of it's not a separate company, it's part of the company, but it's kind of a separate arm. And 10th and Blake is their craft beer arm. They have brands like Blue Moon, Line and Kugel, Revolver Brewing, Sade Archer, and of course Hop Valley. This has been done by some of the other mega breweries. I know AB InBev or Anheuser-Busch here in the U.S. has that. When they purchased the Craft Brewers Alliance, it was a group of breweries, trying to keep away from big beer, but then AB bought them out and kind of still has them in their own little department under the big umbrella. And again, 10th and Blake is that for Molson Coors. 10th and Blake is also the import arm for Molson Coors. They import brands like Killian's, Peroni, Pilsner Urquell, just to name a few. And 10th and Blake takes it up another notch. They have a brewery, a production brewery, I believe in Wisconsin, and they brew some of these brands under license, and I think they might even produce some of Hop Valley's beers. But I think they do Killian's and some of those other brands. But when you research these beers or kind of look them up, or hey, who owns this, you'll get the 10th and Blake, and you won't necessarily get Molson Coors. So it kind of gives room between those brands and, of course, big beer, which turns some people off on that. Hop Valley is also the official craft beer of the Las Vegas Raiders. So all you football fans out there, something you may appreciate. I know they have kiosks at the stadium out here that sell just their Hop Valley line of beer. So that's kind of cool, if you're a Hop Valley fan. Real quick, let's talk about some of their other beers. First is Bubble Stash, 6.2% ABV. This is an IPA. In it has the selling point for this beer and several other beers is that they use cryo hops. I believe on this, Mango and Stash, it says something about cryo hops. Now, what are cryo hops? In a generic hop cone, or if you get pelletized hops like home brewers use, and even some commercial brewers, most of the mass of that hop is biomass. It's leaves, stems, stalk, what have you. It's just green vegetable matter. What really does the flavoring for beer is the lupulin gland inside. Well, these cryo hops have been engineered and pressed and created to where it's almost like a 50-50 mix now. There's more of that lupulin gland, more of that intense hop flavor, aroma, bitterness, and they utilize that in the production of their beers. You can use less of it than others, but they probably cost more. So I don't know if it's a cost-cutting thing or just something to make their beers kind of stick out. So, but they use that in several of the beers, and they'll denote it on the can. Next is Alpha Centauri, 9% ABV. I just love the name Alpha Centauri. That's kind of my generic consolation or whatever. You know, I'll make a joke. Well, let's go to Alpha Centauri. This is an Imperial IPA with 100 IBUs. This is a big, intense, you know, danky beer, and it fits in with their line of beers, you know, West Coast, named Hop Valley. Kind of fits. They do have a few beers that are not in that kind of hoppy IPA range. First is Just Blonde, 5% ABV. This is their kind of straightforward blonde ale. The can has the Raider colors, and from what I gather, that's kind of the big beer they push at the Raider games. And it kind of makes sense. It's, you know, more of a game time type beer. You're not one to drink a 9%, you know, throughout the game. And then lastly is Sin Bin, 5.4% ABV. This is a porter. This is probably their maltiest, darkest beer in their portfolio. The term Sin Bin is a hockey reference, referring to if you get put in the penalty box, they say you get thrown in the sin bin. So there's that. As far as the rest of the line of the beers, again, there are lots of IPAs, a lot of hoppy beers, Portland, West Coast, Hop Valley. Just kind of makes sense. One thing I do like they do is they have several variety packs, and I always think those are kind of cool. You know, great way to have kind of almost like your own little beer festival in there. Well, with that being said, before we try this particular beer, though, let's check out the stats. So over the last few weeks, I've been making kind of vacation recommendations, or, you know, beer-related vacation spot recommendations. And I thought today we'd kind of keep that going. This video is going to come out toward the end of July, so summertime vacation season's over, but we got fall to plan. And of course, fall is beer festival season, and the biggest one of all is, of course, the Great American Beer Fest this year in Denver, Colorado, October 6th through 8th at the Colorado Convention Center. You've heard me reference it before. It's just an absolute blast. If you are a beer dork like I am, you have to make it one time at least. This year's kind of special because it's the 40th anniversary, and also too, it's hopefully the first real full year post-COVID. You know, the restrictions and everything. Hopefully, it's wide open. Tickets are general admission is like $95, but if you're a member of the American Homebrewers Association, which I've chatted up before, you get a $10 break on your ticket. This year, they're expecting over 500 breweries and over 1,500 different beers. It's just incredible. I will give you a little warning, heads up if you go. Whatever game plan you may have, like, oh, we're going to hit this aisle first, or we're going to hit these beers first, or we're going to pace ourselves or whatever. After 30 minutes, throw that out because the game plan is lost. You've either found that one or two cool little breweries, or this one aisle that just, you know, has them, or this pumpkin spice beer that you're just going to keep going back in line for. Just throw that out the window, because it's just amazing how fast you can consume as much beer as you can, like I said, in a 30-minute period. So just take that as a word of caution. And check out, I believe the website is greatamericanbeerfestival.com. Go to the website, check it out, and if you get a chance to go, it is well worth it. And one of these days, I will definitely get back. Well, enough about that. Let's drink a beer. All right, we got a nice finger with the white foam, slight haze. All right, the mango comes out, not over the top. You do get just a shade of hops too, but the mango's more dominant on the nose. Let's give her a try. Well, that's nice. That's nice. The mango is a little more subtle on the palate than it is on the nose. This is kind of a light, kind of straightforward IPA, kind of a traditional West Coast IPA, just with that slight hint of mango. Very drinkable. At 6%, it's not so high of ABV that, you know, you get a burning sensation, or that becomes kind of the dominant flavor. Body-wise, this is a solid medium-ish body. goes down easy enough, but this beer does have a little substance to it. I'm going to say the finish is medium minus. The mango hangs on just a little bit longer than the hop finish. Overall, though, a nice, well-executed beer. In a sense, I can see where this is kind of what big beer's take on craft is. All right, we'll give you a little flavor. We'll give you a little hops. We're not going to beat you over the head because we don't want to offend anybody. And I think that's kind of what they have here. That being said, though, this is also approachable enough where maybe you can get that friend to finally try an IPA. So I definitely see that. Well, I hope you like this video. If you do, please subscribe down below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or beers that you'd like me to try, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on our Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.